Motivation, the newest four-letter word. Hi, hello, welcome. Let me start off by saying that this video is not going to be a step-by-step tutorial for how to get your groove back. I'm not going to tell you to wake up at 5 a.m. or to try cold showers or even to sign up to a new monthly challenge. We're here to go deeper. In today's video, we're going to reframe the concept of motivation, which can be fleeting, and instead set you on a path towards meaning and fulfillment. First things first, we need to set the stage. Maybe you are unmotivated, or maybe your goal is just undefined. How can you continue in a direction if you don't know what it is that you really want? Which opens up a whole nother can of worms. Because what if you're scared to want what you really want? What if you're afraid of what people will think? What if you're thinking, is there enough status or money or cachet attached to this new goal? And while it's very normal and healthy to have these voices of self-doubt swirling around in your head, I urge you to reframe those voices. As I said in the intro, this video is all about reframing. So instead of seeing them as something that paralyzes you with fear, see it as something that excites you, because it's the same kind of feeling. It's the same butterflies in your stomach. It's the same pull to the unknown, because you're not guaranteed anything. You're not guaranteed success. You're not guaranteed the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And that can be a cool thing because you're relying on your own wits, your own skill set, and just your own perseverance to get you there. And also, only you have to live your life. And what other people say about you, whatever they're whispering, doesn't have any effect on you. Their whispering behind your back isn't going to take you further from your goal, nor is it going to push you in the right direction. So, f it. Live your life and do the thing that makes you happy. And it's up to you to discern between the people who mind and matter, your close inner circle of peeps, and the people who mind but don't matter. And for this group, the people who you do actually give a shit about, you're going to be able to show up as a better friend or caretaker or whatever your relationship is if you're pursuing something that you care about. So it's a win-win. Even if you do fail, it's infinitely more rewarding to fail at something that you're passionate about. That's why I've dubbed this section Failing Forward, because you're inevitably going to fail. You are going to have to learn from your mistakes. And I think it's a much better course of action to fail in the direction of the thing that you actually want. Let's say for convenience sake, you've defined your goal. You know the star at the end of the road that you want to pursue. The next part has to deal with managing your energy output as you run that marathon towards the star. And because I'm a gym bro at heart, we're going to use a gym analogy here. When you go to the gym to work out, you're stressing your body. Granted, it is a good kind of stress, but a stress nonetheless. And that 45-minute or 1-hour session is incredibly important for stimulating the right muscle groups to get the desired outcome. While proper stimulus is important, you want to find that Goldilocks zone between something that's not just doing the motion, but also something that's not going to cause you injury. That sweet spot of pushing outside of your comfort zone enough to stimulate growth and progress. On the other hand, it's incredibly important what happens after that gym session. It's what happens in the hours following that actually cements or decides whether you make progress or not. And you may be familiar with some of these factors, such as adequate protein intake, sufficient rest, hydration. All of those things, all the decisions that you take in the hours following will make or break whether the stimulus that you put yourself through in the gym was actually worth it and actually gets you closer to your goal. And if we zoom out a little bit from the gym bro bubble, you can apply this same kind of thinking to everything. It's the balance. Short but intense periods of push, followed by a period of reflection and rest. Because perspective comes when we are not pressured to produce or act or to show up. Now, this is also really personal. I know that there are some people out there, I'm sure, watching who are used to being pushers. That is what's normal for them. They have a very high tolerance for pain and discomfort. And this is especially important because for those people who are used to burning the candle at both ends, who enjoy working under pressure, in order to continue towards your goal, you need to have constant reflection if your strategy of pushing is pushing you in the right direction, because there's no use in swimming upstream if you're in the wrong river. There's also the other side of the coin. People who are just more lackadaisical and who really like perspective and they like to theorize and talk a lot about their goals. For those people as well, it's important to act and it's important to find your limits, which you only reach when you're under pressure in extreme situations. You're only able to realize how strong you are when you're tested. So both sides of my coin can benefit from this point. If your goal happens to fall in the realm of continued learning, one of the best ways I know that you can challenge yourself is to study a foreign language. I currently hold a bachelor's degree in Romance languages, those that stem from Latin. and I specialized in Spanish and Portuguese, which came in great handy when I moved to Prague and met my now Czech husband. Life has a funny way of throwing you curveballs, but hey, we roll with the punches. There are a few things that I find as exciting as that moment when you are finally able to understand or be understood in a foreign language. When all of your hard work finally starts to pay off and you're able to ask for directions or start a conversation or order a beer, that moment is so great, and it's one of life's pleasures that I hope everyone has the chance at some point or another to experience. Which is why I want to give a huge thanks to today's sponsor, Lingoda Language School. Lingoda is an online language learning platform that makes foreign language study fun and accessible. In 2020, I worked as an English language teacher with Lingoda for about 6 months and still have many fond memories of the classes with the students. With Lingoda, you can choose to learn English, French, Spanish, or German in either a group setting or one-to-one for a slightly more personalized experience. And they're currently hosting a back-to-school sale. So if you use the link to sign up in the description box below, you'll get 20 euros or $25 off your first course. If you do decide to sign up using the link below, I want to thank you very much because it gives me a small commission with no extra charge to you. And you won't be alone in your language learning journey, because I too am jumping on the bandwagon, taking my relationship with French to the next level after having lived in Brussels for only 4 years. I think it's about time we get serious. So I'm going to take classes about once or twice a week, but as I said, you can choose from any of those 4 languages I mentioned. So thank you again to Lingoda for making today's video possible, and cheers everybody to learning a foreign language at any age or any stage in life. I don't think it's ever energy wasted. Let's get back into today's video. The next point has to deal with the kinds of energy outputs you're engaging with. Once you've experienced a few cycles of this push and reflection, you may find yourself a little bit worn out, or dare I say, unmotivated. I think an example might help here. I thoroughly enjoy making these YouTube videos. I love the whole process. I love the scripting, the outlining, the filming, editing. It's all really creative, highly fulfilling, and it's also me building something completely on my own terms, which is really cool. At the same time, my work as a group fitness coach is also highly creative, and I see that there's a lot of overlap with making YouTube videos. As much as I would love it to be the case, I can't, unfortunately, will myself to make an engaging YouTube video. Nor can I sit down and force myself to come up with a creative program for my students. That's just not how it works. As is the case of life, there are periods when I am called to work more. I'm teaching more and designing more programs, which means that I have less creative energy left over for YouTube. That's why I've dubbed this section the same kind of drain, because if you feel like you're a little bit burnt out or that you're having to push more than usual, it might be smart to take a step back and look at the kinds of activities that you're engaging in, because you could be exhausting a singular type of energy. Your activities could be too similar, and it may be time to diversify. And you may be familiar with this phenomenon's cousin, which is decision fatigue. And I think that each day we have a finite amount of bandwidth or decisions that we can make. And once it's used up, it's just sayonara until the next day. Revisiting our gym example of the previous point, maybe you're feeling unmotivated to work out. Maybe you've just spent a whole day at the office, had to make a lot of decisions for your boss, and you can't be bothered. There's no more brain power up there to make one more decision. Maybe your gym is a commute and you have to make the decision on whether or not you want to tolerate the traffic to get there. Or maybe you have to decide on the workout clothes you want to wear, or pick a playlist. All of these things are points of friction, and they require mental bandwidth to solve. And you may be familiar with this feeling with respect to working out, because it could manifest in you needing more caffeine to energize yourself, or you wanting to play louder or more aggressive music to get you to that place of heavy workout, or your body just feeling tired, but you forcing it to push through a workout because that's the thing that you think is going to solve your icky mood or to get you out of your funk or your burnout. It's important, as I said, to keep the big picture in mind, that no, missing one workout isn't going to be the end of the world because you're in this for the long run, that your goal is going to take a long time to achieve, whatever your goal is, physical or not. And that in the moment, again, the best thing that you can do potentially is sleep, is rest, and be kind to yourself. As I said in point number 2, short periods of intensity are merely the stimulus, but the results are developed in the off time. This next one is going to sound a little bit like a no-no, but I want you to identify the areas in your life where you feel okay cutting corners. Because it's not reasonable, and I would actually say it's impossible to push 100% in every part of your life. That's living without priorities. Going back to point number 1, once you've defined where you want to go, the things that don't support that or that don't push you closer to that end goal will also become quite clear. So without quitting your day job, where are other areas in your life where you can make steps towards your dream? After work drinks with colleagues may have to be replaced with the online course that you want to do. And the spontaneous weekend away with friends may have to be swapped with practicing the guitar or whatever skill you've decided to learn. I want to urge you to trust the process. And unfortunately, sacrifice and discomfort are very much part of that. Just to be clear, this is not me giving you a free pass to be a total just because you have a goal, okay? Don't go and become a hermit in the pursuit of what you want. Because another part of all of this perspective stuff is knowing that fulfillment comes in many forms. That as you eke towards your goal and momentum starts to build, you're going to feel an immense sense of pride that is going to urge you to keep going. And that is one kind of fulfillment that only you can give yourself, which is fabulous. And at the same time, we are social creatures that crave human connection. And deep, meaningful relationships make the world go round. Because when you do inevitably stumble, you'll want to have good people around you that love you and encourage you to keep going, not to give up. And conversely, success really is best, I think, when shared. And when you do reach a big milestone of your goal, your good friends will enjoy that success with you. Relationships, much like the pursuit of a goal, require constant care and attention. And they need to be reminded daily of how important they are to you, no matter your mood and no matter how tired you are. It should go without saying that these are not easy questions or entirely pleasant conversations that you have to have with yourself. I know. Nor is it something that you can just learn and then put on autopilot. As you continue towards your goal, there's gonna be a bunch of crap thrown in your way that's gonna test you. But at the same time, opportunities will also arise that you could have never anticipated. And the beautifully frustrating part of all of this is that you will constantly get to revisit your values, your priorities, and your ambitions. Forever tinkering and shaping a life that you're proud of. It's a constant seesaw between, on the one hand, staying true to the course, and on the other, pivoting your strategy as you learn more and evolve. And this is a very personal journey. I can't give you the answers. Not that you're asking me to, and I am definitely still figuring all this out on my own through much trial and error. But I do just want to say that if you are choosing this path, I commend you. It's admirable that you are choosing to dive headfirst into the unknown, that you are choosing uncertainty. That is a great thing. No matter what anyone says, no matter the outcome, I think that we all have to make our life what we want. And at the end of the day, as I said, only you have to live it. So all you can do is live in a way that you endorse, that you love those around you, that you try to leave the world hopefully a little bit better than you found it. That took a really philosophical turn that I didn't anticipate, but stand by it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a really good time putting this video together, and if there's any comments that you have, any of your own little bits of wisdom, please drop them down below. Help a girl out, share what you know. And yeah, I'll catch you guys back here in my next video super soon.